This other musketeer formed a perfect contrast to his interrogator, who had just designated him by the name of Aramis. He was a stout man of about 2 or 3 and 20, with an open, ingenuous countenance, a black, mild eye, and rosy cheeks, and downy as an autumn peach. His delicate moustache marked a perfectly straight line upon his upper lip. He appeared to dread to lower his hands, lest their veins should swell, and he pinched the tips of his ears from time to time, to preserve their delicate pink transparency. Habitually he spoke little and slowly, bowed frequently, laughed without noise, showing his teeth, which were fine, and of which, as the rest of his person, he appeared to take great care. I'm Luke Summerhays, and I love Virizion. In preparation to discuss the Swords of Justice, I read the novel The Three Musketeers for the first time. Despite being 180 years old, and set 200 years before that, the book is actually a fun little read. There is action and intrigue, with a cast of hot-tempered so-called gentlemen who behave like the protagonists of a shonen anime. Aramis is the dandy of the group. Despite claiming that he wants to be a man of the church, he is the most attached to the earthly desires, womanizing and drinking and dressing in finery. Of course, this gives us our first little glimpse in some of the ways the book has not aged so well. Its treatment of women and other ethnicities. Still, if we can claim the comedy of the 90s was a different time, I think we can extend that courtesy to mid-19th century France. Virizion is a grass and fighting type Pokemon, with the most slender, elegant design of the three Swords of Justice. It certainly holds itself with the pride of Aramis of the Musketeers. It doesn't have the biggest blade-like antlers, but its overall design is very aerodynamic. Pokemon White tells us, its head sprouts horns as sharp as blades. Using whirlwind-like movements, it confounds and swiftly cuts opponents. As with the other Swords of Justice, other Pokédex entries tell tales of this Pokemon's heroism in ancient times. Pokemon Black says, this Pokemon fought humans in order to protect its friends. Legends about it continue to be passed down.
You're going to struggle to get more from me from that.
That's alright, you've only got to... Oh wait! Welcome back to Moils on Mon. Virizion!
Oh no. This one's got a bit of that snivy, snooty energy. So I do like that about him. He reminds me of a bit of Xerneas.
Okay, like, I can see it a little.
I guess it was just the deer vibe. Like, this one's definitely the most deer-like of the legendary quartet in this game. But I don't remember much more about him than that.
Well, I think in the movie about these guys, this is the one they treat as the girl one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Competitively, Virizion was very popular in its initial generation. Not only was it incredibly fast, it had decent enough stats for either physical or special attack, making it hard to predict. Combined with the unique typing, which is both bulky and has good offensive coverage, this Pokemon had a place on many teams. Naturally, power creep saw its role diminish, as well as the addition of fairy types, making a fighting type less relevant. But it made good use of Z moves, and was able to see some usage in the smaller Pokédexes of the 8th and 9th generations. We can also see Virizion and the other Swords of Justice in the animated movie Kyurem vs. the Sword of Justice. Amusingly, for a Pokemon based on the womanizing Aramis, in the film, Virizion is the only Sword of Justice with a female voice actor. Emily Williams in English, and Takako Honda in Japanese. Like the other Swords of Justice, the name takes the Eon from champion or stallion and combines it with a colour, in this case a Virizion shade of green. With its feather-like blades and smug expression, it's easy to imagine it as preening and self-absorbed. Based on the Pokédex entries though, just like Aramis, this Pokemon will come through for you when you're in a pinch. Original music for Luke Loves Pokemon is by Jonathan Cromie. Artwork is by Katie Groves. Funding is provided by listeners at Patreon. And if you enjoy this podcast and want to check out other shows by me and my friends, head to podcastiopodcastius.org. I love hearing from listeners. Get in touch about upcoming Pokemon on Twitter or Facebook at LukeLovesPKMN. Drop a comment if you're watching the video, or a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Coming up are Thundurus and Tornadus, so please get in touch about those or any other monsters. Even if you don't feel like doing any of that, thank you so much just for listening. I love Virizion, and remember, I love you too.